Regulated Industries Committee to order. We've got two bills on our agenda today. I'll start with House Bill 437, Representative Howard. Feel free to present right there from that witness 1 or witness 2 microphone.
Number 2.
Explain your bill to us and let's see what we can do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for having us today, and to all the committee members here. I have a one-page bill, pretty simple, that's dealing with folk with disabilities. And this bill would require every gasoline station which sells gasoline at a self-service basis shall be required for an attendant employed by the station to dispense the gas for a holder of a special disability tag. So we have those disability hangers on our windshields, rearview mirror, and some have it on the tag. And that would be the reason that the attendant can look at and see the identification to know that that person is disabled. It also would require that if another person is in the car, 16 years or older, that they would not be required to pump. That person in the car should be able to pump for the person with an impaired disability. The gasoline station shall be required to have a telephone number that is operational and answered by an attendant during the hours of the operation. You know, we didn't put an hour in there. We may be something we can consider while the station is open to the public. The gasoline station shall fill in such number on the decal, and there's a decal that the Department of Agriculture puts up for an inspection on every pump in the state. And the Ag Department has, we started this bill back 2 years ago. I think, was it 2 years or a year and a half, last session, and we tabled it because the Ag Department had agreed that maybe this could be done without a bill. So we decided that it's not working, so we wanted to come back and make it law. And what's causing it not to work is that the guys that are in the trucks that are putting the decals on the pumps are not writing the phone number on the decals, and they're not going in the stations to get the phone number and allow the attendant to put it on there. So you have a decal with a blank space with no number, and I've tested this or looked at this all across the state when I stop at places, and the numbers are not, the decal is on the pump, but the numbers are not on the decal in every station. They're just posting the decal without a number. So I thought we needed to come back and go on and make it law to try to encourage, and we're not looking for a fight over this. We're just trying to make the stations aware that there are folk out here with disabilities that need assistance at the pump. And that's the whole overview of what we're trying to do here. And if we can, if you good men and gentlemen and ladies could help us make that happen, it would be greatly appreciated.
Any committee members have questions, Representative? All right, Senator Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Howard, there are people who do have handicap decals.
Right.
But then there are people who have physical disabilities that prevent them from, people who have decals that can pump, people who have physical disabilities who cannot. how do we, is there any way to prevent abuse of this?
I think we got to come back somewhere in the future, and there are other states that's doing this, and on the hanging disability that we hang on the on
The decal?
yeah
In the
Yeah.
okay.
start putting pictures just like your
Okay. Okay.
license on
Okay.
that
Decal.
device. South Carolina's doing it now, and some other states. I'll do some more research to find out where it's. But that would be a safeguard to make sure that my son and daughter
That's
are
right.
not going out using my
That's right.
hanging
That's right.
to dispense gas.
That's right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Although I hope my
Sure.
son and daughter wouldn't do that.
I don't think they would.
Yeah.
I don't think they would.
Senator, again, I recognize you for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Howard, I'm not sure, I'm not the lawyer in the room, so
Okay.
maybe you can help me with the legal side of things. But line 32, nothing in this code section shall be construed to create a private cause of action. I believe that means you can't sue
That's right.
the store owner. So in the case where you've got somebody that only has one attendant,
Right.
or the situation there, or just as slow, if it's okay, hey, I'm pumping gas over here and you're waiting, I think that would probably help to make sure there's somebody's not abusing the situation. If you legitimately, I think a lot better if people said they want to help. If they've got
Right.
somebody that's disabled, I think it's a good idea. And I think this will help. My Rotary Club, we build handicap ramps. We're up to about 860 ramps that we built for people in our community. And
Right.
we find that there's a lot of folks that want to help, and I applaud you for bringing the bill.
Yeah, thank you.
Other questions? Senator Tippins.
I'm all in favor of this bill for the people that are truly handicapped, but I know, as you said, there are people who have handicap stickers that can get out and walk in their homes and walk to their cars that are unassisted. I'm gonna vote for the bill, but I kind of believe very quickly we're probably gonna be back revisiting this, because I think anybody that has a handicap sticker, if they so choose, they can be calling for somebody else to basically give them full service for a self-service price. And there's a lot of handicap stickers out there.
Yeah.
And those that are truly handicapped, but I'm concerned that it's going to be abused. That's not a question, but that's a comment.
We got a problem not just with what we might encounter here, but we've got a problem with abuse in parking.
I understand.
Yeah, and people are parking who, the granddaughter, the grandkids, get the decals off the parents' cars and just to get a closer place to park. And I know I've sat in parking lots at grocery stores and other places and see folk that park in handicapped spaces that when they get out of the car, you're saying they can't be the one that's handicapped. And so you're right. It's we got to close the loophole somewhere down in the going forward. We'll see that and take it on at that particular time.
And that's my concern. I mean, in my opinion, if they can get out of even in the handicapped space, if they can get out of their car and walk into a grocery store and shop,
Yeah.
they can get out and walk 10 feet to the
10
back of the
feet,
car
right.
and put gas in it. So we just have to see if it's abused. But I guess one question legitimate question, have the petroleum retailers commented on this, on any hardships that may be there?
You know the answer to that, Senator Gann?
I don't know about the petroleum retailers, but I think the convenience stores
Store operators,
spoke
yeah.
at our last meeting, and were not opposed to the bill.
They were not opposed
They
to
were
it?
not opposed to the bill, if I remember right.
I think that the oil industry had some concerns, but last year, Ag Department assured everybody that they would deal with this on a voluntary basis, but what the representative is saying is, in his experience, they
Right.
have not. Senator Tippins, a possible solution to what you're discussing is if you look on the top of the second page, this is listing the conditions for you to be required to, have the attendant. The first one there on the front page is the disabled person has to be the driver. The second one there up on line 16 is that there can't be another person with them that's 16 or older that would be able to pump the gas. You could easily add a third requirement there, between line 17 and 18 and say, and the disabled person is physically unable to pump. Because I know what you're saying. There are a lot of people that have a disability tag that could surely pump gas.
Could we just add that they are, that the person is non-ambulatory?
I think that's a solution. Do you have thoughts on that, Representative?
I can see, because that sort of goes to what I think Senator Anderson was saying. Some are able to get out and pump, and some are not.
Right.
With disabilities, and in my case,
I understand,
it's
and you're non-ambulatory.
right, exactly.
But those that are able to get out and walk to their car or walk to the store, I really don't see why they can't walk to the back of the car to the gas pump. So non-ambulatory would be somebody that could not.
That's a good.
It would
that's a
be
good term.
non-ambulatory
Well, no,
without assistance, maybe
Right.
of crutches or a cane or whatever. But there's a lot of people with disabilities that can get around fine for short distances. I just don't want to see it abused. I don't want to see it put a requirement on retailers that in good faith are operating and would have to meet a requirement of law that could very easily be abused to basically give them self-service, to give them full service gas.
So, there was one other.
Senator, I'll wait to Senator Harbison, but I'll do it
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And the comments from Senator Tippins, I think, are well taken. At the same time, I want to, err on this, the side of caution with a humanistic approach. That is, in every endeavor, you're going to find somebody trying to game the system. I don't care what it is. Somebody's going to try to take a shortcut, go the wrong way, or do the wrong thing, and just to beat the system for their self-satisfaction. So I would certainly hope we would pass the bill and, make corrections as they arise. And I think that's the way almost all laws are. We have to sort of adjust the laws we pass to meet the needs at a given time. And I would think that would be in the same context right here. And when there's a proper time, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to do pass.
All right, we'll get to you shortly on that. Senator Anderson,
Item
you had
number
other
3, yes, sir.
questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I think I see a small bit of help here. On line 16, it says, is not accompanied by another person 16 years of age or older who is not mobility impaired. So then should we insert on line 13, the holder of a special disability or a non-mobile, somehow make non-mobile very specific to say, even though you have a special disability permit, you're also non-mobile? How can we do that?
I think I have a suggestion.
Thank you, sir.
The committee is so inclined. We could add another condition. I think it might best go between condition 1 and 2, between lines 15 and 16.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wanted to track that same language, you could say, is mobility impaired or blind.
Okay.
And then the change line 16 to number 3 is not accompanied by somebody that is. Sean Marie, you had another technical correction. Did we need to change the semicolon to a colon at the end of line 14? Okay. Well, that's a good point. Sean Marie pointed out to me that you're probably not going to have a lot of blind people driving to start with.
I don't know, they put them braille numbers at the bank.
You folks make sure you increase the budget for our legislative counsel's office. They're very valuable on days like today. So it would, rather than would say, is not mobility impaired, and change that semicolon. I would receive that as a proposed amendment once we get this on the floor for discussion here. Is that? Yes, ma'am.
Where did you say?
I think that ought to go at between lines 15 and 16, renumbered as condition number 2, and then renumbered line 16, the beginning there, to number 3.
So, yes, is mobility
Yes.
impaired?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so any other questions or discussion? Then Senator Harbison, I'll receive your motion.
As amended,
Well, no, just, we're not amended yet, so just go ahead.
I moved, Mr. Chairman, I so moved do pass.
All right, is there a second? All right, now, is there any proposed amendments at this point would be appropriate? Would you like to go ahead and propose that one that I just stated, to add a new section 2 to say, is mobility impaired? Semicolon, and that would go between lines 15 and 16,
Yes, sir.
and then change the semicolon to a colon at the end of line 14.
That's my intent,
Right.
yes.
All right, is there a second to that? We got a second by Senator Anderson. All in favor of the Senator Harbison's amendment, raise your hand, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. Any against? We got one grumpy rules chairman that doesn't have horse racing yet, and he's no punish us. But, all right. All right, any discussion on the bill as amended? All right, all in favor, I guess we will say of House Bill 437, LC 33869OS as amended. Raise your hand. Now we got team player. All right, it's unanimous. Thank you, Representative. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Mr. Rules Chairman, we appreciate your great spirit, and you're so seasoned in this business. You know things don't end till that final gavel. Yes, sir. Right.
Oh, the fat lady's not building.
Okay, I hear
I don't
you.
mean that by any way, except
I had nobody signed up to speak to that bill, Angela. I appreciate you being here for us if we needed you, but I think we worked our way through it okay. All right, House Bill 1372, Chairman Smith. Well, it's his bill, but if he can defer, or,
Totally up to you, Senator.
all right.
Can I present it
You
from here?
talk
Do you want me
faster
to-
than he does? No, sir, sure you can. Senator Tippins, you had a lot of work on this in the off-season, and your concerns, I hope, have been satisfied. Let's hear what this bill does.
Mr. Chairman, this is a new bill this year. It was built on House Bill 449 that we considered last year. We have worked on this in the off-season. It's a new and improved bill. It allows for additional safety precautions in underground construction. It adds traffic control systems and signals to this. It provides for emergency call to 911 if a gas line's cut. Has a few other housekeeping things in it, but it's a good bill. Surprisingly enough, the contractors, the DOT, the railroads, the utilities are all in agreement of this. This is a wonderful bill, and I urge your consideration and passage of it.
Any questions for Senator Tippins? You all will recall this was a different bill number last year, and they had concerns about getting the cities on board and the DOT, and so it sounds like all the interested parties worked diligently in good faith in the off-season to get this perfected. So I will receive your due pass motion then on House Bill 1372, that's LC 365145.
Second.
You know, we won't even change anything this year.
All right.
I'll
Sounds-
make one comment on this. We've
All right.
sang Kumbaya so many times, we know the words by heart.
Amen. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, passing House Bill 1372, LC 365145, raise your hand. All right, all opposed? It is another unanimous vote. Thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon. I know some folks had other places they wanted to be or needed to head home to tend to business. Oh, yeah, I need to know who's going to carry each of those bills. I'm assuming Tippin's on this last one. Will y'all reach out?
She wants to on the other.
Would you like to?
I want to, but I will.
All right.
You told me you wanted to.
All right, Senator Anderson's going to carry House Bill 437. We're going to meet again coming up Tuesday, 3 o'clock. It's a tight window, just a 1 hour window because judiciary's at 4. I'd love to, but they won't. It takes cooperation of judiciary, and they won't do it.
We were there for a minute, we were doing it colon and semicolon.
Well, we were a little close. We had some legislation.
I'm for it.
That'll get everybody here. No, I'll tell you what we're going to hear. We're going to hear House Bill 1481 dealing with dealer license plates, House Bill 1483 dealing licensures involving social work, and we're going to hear House Bill 972 dealing with professional counselors licensing requirements. I might, depending on time, try to get the funeral director's bill, House Bill 1193, and there's one that deals with peace officers being independent contractors. That's House Bill 1441. That's 5 bills. I think that's overly ambitious to think we can deal with them at one time, but you never know.
Which one can I put horse racing on?
Probably, maybe motor vehicles. We'll see.
I think if you give people a certain amount of time to speak, you might do that.
We might. But if we don't, we are also going to have a committee meeting day next Thursday. And we have reserved this room. We're going to change our time to 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. to give us a 2-hour gap to knock out what we need to do on that day. And then we run out of days pretty quick. The following Tuesday after that is more than likely going to be our last meeting because of our Senate rules. So thank you all for being here. Appreciate your diligence and hope have a great weekend. We'll see you Tuesday afternoon.